If you're a die-hard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The Cleveland Browns have become one of the most intriguing teams to watch this offseason, not just because of their roster moves or the ongoing saga surrounding Deshaun Watson, but because of what's quietly brewing in their quarterback room. The addition of the promising rookie quarterbacks, SHEDEUR Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, has already drawn national attention. Pair that with veteran voices like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, and suddenly, you've got one of the most fascinating locker room dynamics in the league. From the outside, many expected a fierce, maybe even toxic, competition. After all, when you stack this many QBs, some hungry for a shot, others fighting for relevant stempers can flare. But what's happening in Berea is the exact opposite. According to defensive anchor Myles Garrett and Super Bowl champion Joe Flacco, there's no war for the throne. Instead, it's a room filled with mutual respect, shared wisdom, and a refreshing sense of camaraderie. And in today's NFL, that's a rarity. When Myles Garrett stepped in front of the media this week, reporters were likely bracing for a quote about how intense the quarterback battles had become, or how fierce things were getting in the trenches of training camp. But Garrett gave them something completely unexpected. Instead of conflict, he described connection. They help each other and they work together, Garrett shared. That's not what you usually hear when four quarterbacks are vying for a job, let alone to rookies trying to earn respect, while a seasoned veteran like Joe Flacco is still proving he belongs. Garrett painted a picture of young players not only embracing mistakes, but also using them as teaching moments with each other. It's not every day you hear about rookie quarterbacks actively supporting one another, especially when the stakes are this high. But in Cleveland, that's the culture emerging, and if Garrett, one of the team's most respected voices, sees it that clearly, there's a good reason to believe it's genuine. Perhaps what's most impressive is how the rookies themselves, SHEDEUR Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, have bought into that culture. Both players came into the league with vastly different backgrounds. SHEDEUR, the son of NFL Hall of Famer Deion Sanders, carried sky-high expectations and media buzz. Gabriel, on the other hand, had to grind his way up from UCF to Oklahoma and into the draft. Yet in Cleveland, they're not focused on headlines or draft status, they're focused on each other. Garrett pointed out that whether the conversation is flowing from the veterans to the rookies or vice versa, the synergy is real. This isn't just about keeping the peace, it's about building something sustainable. In a league where egos can fracture locker rooms, the Browns quarterback unit seems refreshingly ego-free. It's a room where guys aren't afraid to ask questions, to admit they don't have all the answers, and to learn from whoever has insight to offer, be it a rookie or a Super Bowl MVP. And speaking of MVPs, Joe Flacco's presence in Cleveland is proving to be more than just symbolic. When asked about the dynamics within the quarterback room, Flacco didn't speak like a man clinging to his last shot at relevance. He sounded like someone genuinely enjoying the journey. It's been a lot of fun. Those guys are good, Flacco said. They got a good head on their shoulders. That's not a throwaway line. That's a veteran recognizing that the rookies in the room aren't just talented, but grounded. Flacco also highlighted the kinds of conversations that are happening: football talk, storytelling, sharing perspectives. It's a real quarterback fraternity. And when you've played as long as Flacco has, when you've reached the top of the sport, that sort of endorsement carries real weight. He could have easily taken a distant mentor role. Instead, he's fully engaged, and that speaks volumes about the group's chemistry. What resonated most from Flacco's comments was his reflection on how the rookies approach learning. He mentioned how their questions reminded him of his own rookie days, how curiosity, humility, and attention to detail defined the early stages of his career. That's a massive compliment coming from someone who's seen and done just about everything in the NFL. It also suggests that Gabriel and Sanders aren't trying to shortcut the process. They're not looking for praise, they're looking for growth. That mindset might seem small now, but in a long NFL season where development can make or break a career, it's everything. A rookie willing to ask the right questions, to listen, and to apply what he hears is a rookie ready to ascend. And for Flacco, a quarterback who once walked that same tightrope between doubt and greatness, the signs are unmistakable. These kids get it, and they're putting in the work. The Browns fan base, still reeling from the inconsistency and controversy surrounding Deshaun Watson, has every reason to feel skeptical about quarterback developments, but this positive energy in the locker room, coming from trusted team leaders, is a breath of fresh air. The narrative being shaped by Garrett and Flacco isn't just fluff, it's foundational. These aren't PR-friendly soundbites, they're genuine assessments of how the team is evolving. And for a franchise desperate to move forward, to finally shed the weight of years past, that kind of internal unity is priceless. It's not just about who starts week 1 or who throws the prettiest spiral, it's about building a system where growth is constant, egos are checked, and competition sharpens everyone. For Cleveland, that could mean everything, because when your locker room believes in each other, success on the field often follows, and right now, the belief in that QB room is running high. Statistically, the quarterback snaps at training camp offer even more intrigue. According to reports, Dillon Gabriel currently leads with 38 total reps, followed closely by Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco, each with 34. Meanwhile, SHEDEUR Sanders has logged 31 snaps and has yet to receive any work with the first-team offense. On paper, that might suggest Gabriel is inching ahead in the race, but coaches have made no definitive declarations, and everyone in the room seems to understand that the evaluation process is ongoing. What's key is that no one's panicking. No one's forcing throws in desperation or trying to upstage the guy next to him. The reps are being used wisely. Gabriel's early lead doesn't seem to be affecting Sanders' confidence, and that's notable, because in the high-stakes world of NFL quarterbacking, patience and poise are just as valuable as arm strength, and so far, both rookies are showing signs of having that mental edge. It's also worth acknowledging just how much Dillon Gabriel has impressed during team drills. According to ESPN Cleveland's Daniel Oyefusi, Gabriel's command of the offense has been evident. He's not just throwing the ball well, he's directing teammates, reading the fences, and showing leadership beyond his years. That's huge for a rookie who came in without the kind of media buzz that surrounded SHEDEUR Sanders. Coaches have taken notice, and it appears that his comfort level with the playbook is paying dividends. However, no one inside the Browns facility is treating this like a foregone conclusion. Gabriel may be earning his snaps, but Sanders is still very much in the picture. His athleticism, intelligence, and raw talent are undeniable, and as the preseason games approach, he'll have his chance to shine. What matters most right now is that both players are maximizing every moment, knowing full well that in the NFL, opportunities are earned and lost within inches, and that's exactly why this atmosphere of support is so crucial. In many other organizations, you'd see rookie quarterbacks isolating themselves, hoarding information, or even subtly undermining one another, but not in Cleveland. What's happening here, according to both Garrett and Flacco, is a culture of inclusion. Veterans are lifting up rookies, rookies are leaning into the process, and egos are being left at the door. It's a culture that head coach Kevin Stefanski has quietly instilled, one where competition doesn't mean animosity, and where talent is developed, not politicized. And when your best defensive player and your most experienced quarterback both point to that same environment, you know it's not just talk. This kind of synergy doesn't guarantee success, but it builds the kind of foundation you need to weather the storms of an NFL season. And if the Browns can maintain this level of trust and growth, the payoff could be massive, not just this year, but for seasons to come. So here we are, in a year that was supposed to be clouded by quarterback controversy. Something remarkable is happening in Cleveland. The young guns, Dillon Gabriel and SHEDEUR Sanders, aren't just fighting for jobs, they're forming bonds, learning fast, and embracing the grind. Veterans like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett aren't stonewalling the future, they're helping shape it. And voices like Myles Garrett are seeing all of it and speaking on it with pride. The Browns, long known for dysfunction and disappointment, are starting to look like a team turning the page. No, we don't know yet who'll win the starting job. We don't know how things will unfold when the bullets fly in preseason, and real decisions must be made, but we do know this: in that quarterback room, there's trust, there's mentorship, there's growth, and for the first time in a long time, there's hope. Dawg Pound fans, this could be something special. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. There's a storm brewing in Cleveland, and it's not just the weather off Lake Erie. According to whispers coming out of the Browns locker room, superstar defensive end Myles Garrett is reportedly furious, and the reason has a name: SHEDEUR Sanders. Yes, that SHEDEUR rookie quarterback, son of Coach Prime, and a rising media sensation. While fans were excited about the Browns picking up the young QB, it seems not everyone in the building shares that same enthusiasm. Sources close to the team suggest that Garrett is growing increasingly vocal behind closed doors, questioning not only SHEDEUR's attitude but also his impact on the team's chemistry. This is a man who's been the face of the defense for years, a Pro Bowl staple, and now he's allegedly clashing with a rookie before the season even kicks off. And if these reports are true, the Browns might be facing more than just division rivals this year. Insiders say things started off rocky during voluntary workouts. While SHEDEUR brought energy and swagger, Garrett apparently saw it as arrogance. One report even described a moment during a film session where Garrett cut off a coach, questioning why so much attention was being paid to SHEDEUR's play rather than addressing the defensive breakdowns from last season. That might sound like leadership, but those close to the situation say there was venom in Garrett's tone, not just concern. And it didn't stop there. On the practice field, tension reportedly spilled over into a verbal exchange when SHEDEUR celebrated a red zone touchdown. Just a bit too hard. Garrett, not one to shy away from confrontation, allegedly walked right over and said something that silenced the entire sideline. Since then, people around the facility have described an unmistakable chill in the air whenever those two are in the same room. This isn't your normal rookie-veteran tension. The locker room is now split. According to some sources, you've got the old guard, guys who came up with Garrett, standing by their leader. Then you've got the younger crowd, many of whom were already fans of SHEDEUR. From his college days rallying behind the rookie, it's become an unspoken divide. The kind of cultural rift that can quietly tear a team apart, and the timing couldn't be worse. The Browns are heading into one of their most promising seasons in years. Expectations are sky high, and fans are dreaming playoffs, maybe more. But with this Garrett-SHEDEUR tension bubbling under the surface, those dreams could quickly turn into nightmares. Some in the organization are even worried that this could lead to locker room chaos. Before the season opener, one anonymous staffer allegedly told a reporter, "We've got the talent, but if this keeps up, we're going to self-destruct from the inside out." And let's be real, drama always finds its way to the field. Garrett has always been known as intense, focused, and sometimes misunderstood. He's had his share of controversies, remember the helmet incident, but he's also been a consistent force and leader. That's what makes this so shocking. He's not the type to go public with petty issues. So for word to leak that he's not only upset but furious with SHEDEUR says a lot. People are wondering if it's a personality clash, a generational gap, or something deeper. SHEDEUR, for his part, hasn't addressed any of the rumors. He continues to post his usual confident content on social media, showing workouts, film, study, and hanging with teammates, but that silence might be adding fuel to Garrett's frustration. Some suggest Garrett feels SHEDEUR is more focused on building his brand than earning his place. He hasn't proven anything yet, one alleged. Garrett ally told a local beat writer, "You don't get handed the keys just because your dad is Dion." There's also growing speculation that head coach Kevin Stefanski is struggling to manage the situation. While Stefanski has been praised for his calm demeanor and organized structure, this kind of internal conflict can be hard to suppress. Coaches want competition, but not drama, not division, not star players feeling disrespected or overlooked, and especially not before training camp even hits full stride. Some sources say the coaching staff is quietly meeting to discuss how to handle the dynamic. Do they pull SHEDEUR aside and rein him in? Or do they sit Garrett down and ask him to mentor the young quarterback instead of push him away? Either option carries risk. If Garrett feels like the organization is choosing a rookie over a franchise cornerstone, it could spiral, and if SHEDEUR feels like he's being policed or muzzled, his confidence could shatter. It's a delicate balance, and one wrong move might tip the entire house of cards. Social media, of course, has caught wind of the fire. Browns fans are already choosing sides, and it's getting messy. On Reddit, X, and Instagram, debates are raging. Some fans believe Garrett has earned the right to speak his mind and deserves respect. Others think SHEDEUR represents the future and needs space to be himself. There are memes, fan polls, and even YouTube breakdowns speculating on every subtle interaction caught on camera. One viral clip shows Garrett walking past SHEDEUR without dapping him up after a drill. Coincidence or cold shoulder? Depends who you ask. But when social media starts dissecting body language, you know things have gone off the rails, and in today's NFL, perception matters. If the Browns don't get ahead of this story, it could become the narrative that defines their entire season. All it takes is one more heated moment on the sideline, and boom, national headlines. ESPN, FS1, the works. And speaking of national headlines, league insiders are already talking. One former player turned analyst even floated the idea of a potential trade if things escalate. If Garrett really feels disrespected and the locker room starts fracturing, he said, "Don't rule out something drastic." Now, that might seem far-fetched. Garrett is the heart and soul of this defense, but stranger things have happened. Teams make shocking moves when they feel their culture is at risk. And on the flip side, if SHEDEUR doesn't mesh with the team's leaders, could the Browns quietly start shopping him? That seems even less likely. But the NFL is a business. Loyalty only goes so far. If winning is threatened, decisions get made fast. And we've seen how quickly a promising season can collapse when egos, pride, and locker room politics take center stage. The Browns better nip this in the bud before it becomes unmanageable. Meanwhile, SHEDEUR continues to act unfazed, at least publicly. He's attending every workout, taking reps, reviewing tape, even staying after practice with receivers. By all accounts, he's doing what rookies should be doing. But is it authentic? Or is it part of the Sanders PR machine? Critics argue that SHEDEUR has always had a camera nearby and knows how to play the game. But NFL locker rooms are different. Vets like Garrett don't care how many followers you have or what no deals you signed in college. They care about results, wins, grit, toughness, and maybe, just maybe, Garrett doesn't see that in SHEDEUR yet. Maybe he sees style over substance. That could explain the intensity of his frustration. If Garrett feels the Browns are building around a brand instead of a team-first player, he's going to speak up, and if he feels like no one's listening, that's when things start to get ugly and loud. At this point, the Browns organization has to make a move. Not necessarily a public statement, but a real internal decision, because culture matters. Chemistry matters, and for a team that's been chasing consistency for years, they can't afford to implode, whether it's calling a players-only meeting, bringing in a mediator, or even just getting Garrett and SHEDEUR into a room to hash things out. Something has to give. Silence won't save them, and denial could doom them. The AFC North is no joke. The Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers are all waiting to capitalize on any slip-up. If the Browns turn inward and start eating themselves alive, the rest of the division will feast. Myles Garrett is a generational talent. SHEDEUR Sanders could be the future. But if those two can't coexist, Cleveland might have to choose, and whatever choice they make, it'll change the direction of the franchise, possibly forever. So here we are, the quiet before the potential storm. Or maybe we're already in the eye of it. This situation isn't just about one argument or a few bad vibes. It's about identity, leadership, ego, legacy. It's about a team trying to balance the old with the new, the established with the emerging, and in that balance, chaos is creeping. Myles Garrett versus SHEDEUR Sanders may never explode into a full-blown public feud. But the murmurs, the looks, the passive-aggressive moments, they're already echoing through the halls of the Browns facility. Everyone's watching, teammates, coaches, fans, and of course, the media. Will this become the defining drama of the 2025 NFL season? That remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, Cleveland's locker room is no longer quiet, and in a league where noise equals headlines and headlines equal pressure, this could either forge greatness or crack everything wide open. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!